Hello YouTube and welcome to tutorial number 2 on Tson Craft. We're here looking at the second tutorial. This is Cobbs, the author of Tson Craft, making this tutorial. So we're going to start off right away, not having a proper intro, simply because of the fact that we had a really long one last time. Then I thought may as well get straight into it this time around. How are we doing? This one's good. So first thing I want to talk about is what I mentioned last time, which is protection. So wooden armor is the form of protection you get in Tson Craft early game. It can be crafted without a crafting table using a combination of leather and wood catalyst. Different places like that. Sun is setting, which is day. Clearly isn't Minecraft not long enough. Yeah, so wood catalyst and leather in different arrangements kind of makes sense. You can wear it. It looks kind of silly because you're just basically wearing. You basically look like a tree. But you've got about 5 full pieces of armor there, and you can actually camouflage yourself slightly with oak like that, because it does actually use the same texture. If you're hiding behind a tree, you might be able to hide properly. I don't know, if you're crouching and stuff, because your nameplate won't show and stuff like that. But to compare it to leather armor, for example, so you know that it was 5 before. If you put full leather armor on, we look at this. You'll see that it's only 3.5, so it's not actually as effective. However, leather armor does have a higher durability than wooden armor. I don't think it's much higher, but it is a bit, so it's enough for you to note the fact that wooden armor will break pretty quickly. Essentially is the idea there. So the next thing we probably want to make is cave chests, because we're going to want to be able to store stuff. Now, obviously, if you're not in a village, you're not going to have a normal chest to store things in, like you would do if you find a chest in a library or in a blacksmith here. So to make a cave chest, you're going to need 2 wood catalysts, and you're going to need some seeds. The reason why you need seeds is by combining a seed with 2 wood catalysts, you make 4 cave chests. Of course, the texture doesn't match anything like the crafting ingredients, but it is a chest. It has 9 storage slots. It actually has a tooltip saying it has 9 storage slots as well. So you put things in there. You're going to want a lot of these because they're basically your only storage option early on. And they don't store a lot, but they are your only storage option. So you're going to want quite a lot of them, because you have no other option at all. So if we go down here into this sort of area, we've got a lava pool ready to go, which I put there at the end of the last episode, because I'm ready to talk about the next thing, which is metallic blends. Now you see there's a whole bunch of them. These are added by Tson Craft. However, you only have to worry about the iron and gold ones before you leave this stage where you don't have a crafting table, because you can't make the other ones at this stage. You can make these 2. So the iron metallic blends requires a flint, iron ore, a torch, and TNT. Now if you have a mod called realistic torches in, you can't make torches without a crafting table, so this recipe is actually, it adds a new recipe which is the same as this, but replace this torch here with a piece of coal, I believe. Last time I checked it does that. Though I'm not entirely certain, seeing my bed recipe's gone as well. However, it's probably going to be fixed by the time I release this video, so don't worry about that. So the iron metallic blend exists as an item, making TNT torches. Torches, obviously, same recipe as normal, but according to Tson Craft, realistic torch will change that, but for us it's the same. And TNT, you may be thinking crafting bench, right? But of course you can craft in a mini crafting bench happily, which is your inventory. I just call it a mini crafting bench, so that's basically what it is. Requires a ready glass, which is new. I'll talk about that in a moment. String and gunpowder. And gunpowder requires 2 coal and 2 ready glass. So we've heard a lot about ready glass. So what is it? Ready glass is essentially just 2 pieces of clay, 2 pieces of sand. And if we just grab some, we'll just grab some metallic blends of gold and iron and some ready glass. Of course, you just make 2 pieces of clay, 2 pieces of sand. It can be any arrangement. This accepts all types of sand, so red sand and normal sand will work. Metallic blend looks like that. TNT, such. Gold metallic blend, same as iron, except it uses redstone torch and redstone. You need to obviously have an iron pickaxe first. So you've got your metallic blends, and you're probably wondering, what do I do with them? Well, that's why the lava's here. Lava is invaluable in Tson craft. You need lava. It's necessary for everything you do, pretty much. At least until you get a crafting bench. So all you have to do is right-click on the block underneath of the lava. You can sometimes get it to right-click on the lava, but Minecraft doesn't really handle that correctly because lava is transparent well, it's a liquid, so you can't really right-click on it directly. But all you have to do is right-click on the block underneath, and it will smelt your ready glass into glass, or your metallic blend iron type into iron ingots. I'll just grab a bunch of those. Grab a fair few. 24 of them. And same with gold. Gold will be the same as the others. Pretty nice. This can be a bit of a dangerous method, though I seem to have found a way in which it isn't, because you can actually lose some stuff. So there is actually a way around this. Just take 2 metallic blend of iron and 2 iron ingots and mix it buckets, which is really useful. You pick up your iron, your lava. Sort of make an arrangement as such. You don't need to make it out of glass, I just am, so you can see the lava. And then you just sort of stand reasonably far back and just right-click from over here, and all the stuff will just sort of drop on top of you. And that villager is staring at me because he's just sort of confused as to why I'm doing this. Probably. So once you got a bucket, you're actually going to need 2 of them, really, because you want to make a cauldron, which requires 2 buckets in this case. So 2 pieces of iron and 2 buckets makes a cauldron. This has a few uses, mainly for this, which is here. Cave cauldron requires a slime ball, which are all dictionaries, 2 redstone, and a cauldron. That makes a cave cauldron. So we'll make ourselves 3 of these because we need 3 in the long run. In theory, you can do it with 2, but you only need 1. In theory, you can do it with 2, but I usually make 3, just because later on I don't want to come back and make another one, potentially. So you make 3, or 2, doesn't really matter. So cave cauldron is a pretty simple device. All you need is a water bottle. I'll just make a bottle. So just to show you, a bottle, 3 glass, and a ready glass makes a bottle. If I grab a water bucket quickly, just to get this going quicker, pop that there. Grab glass bottle of water, pop that in there, and you'll notice what is there in the bottom right corner is now saying there's water. If I don't actually hand, it says there's water in here inside the square bracket there. Now, I'm handling this without intensity, so actually when you do right-click on it with a bottle of water, it does actually turn into a different block entirely. It's not the same block, it's a different one. So that would actually trigger a block update, in theory, by doing that. If you were thinking about doing that in a bud switch or something like that. I don't know, you probably do a couple of things with it. So then you want to drop some seeds in, which will mix it together to make nature. It's green now, it says nature on the bottom right. This is the first of the 3 cave essences you need to make. So right-click with a bottle of water, with an empty bottle, sorry, to collect it. Then magically your bottle becomes much higher resolution and so on, because that's just what the texture says it does. So the other thing you need cauldrons for is a essence evaporator, which is made with redstone, iron, slime ball, which doesn't seem to actually. I'll also fix that later today. And a cauldron. So an essence evaporator, pop that down. Similar aesthetic to the cave cauldron. I quite like the cave cauldron aesthetic. It's got, I don't know why, but I quite like the legs area. I don't know why. It just seems to be the best part of it. It's probably just me thinking about what the old aesthetic for it used to be in the very first version that didn't exactly get released as that form. It got upgraded before I released it, which I may even insert a picture of just to show you guys what it looked like beforehand and possibly a comparison. So we've got the essence evaporator and we've got a bottle of cave essence, and all you have to do is right click on the essence evaporator with the bottle of cave essence, and it will give you your bottle back first of all, and then 4 cave dust of that type. This is nature, it's got tooltip 7 nature on it. This is the first of the 3 dusts you need to make. So you may notice I've got a purple matter pickaxe in my inventory now. We'll make a quick nether portal here. Just note that the purple matter pickaxe is the best pickaxe in the game. to the extent that if I show you something quickly, we will. Well, we'll just do it like this, yeah. And of course it starts raining. Perfect time to go for the nether. Yeah, just to show you, because I don't want this corner so it looks messy, we can mine it with the purple nether pickaxe. Okay? Prepare for that, basically. Pretty much instant. Well, not instant. It's like the speed of iron pickaxe tackles a stone block, pretty much. It's like, yeah, it's not a problem. I can pop some city down to break it like that, you know, no issue. And we just light the portal and go through. That's pretty nice. Note about the cave chests that they break with your hand. You don't. Theoretically, they'd be sped up by a pickaxe because that's what they are. They're mined with pickaxe rather than an axe. So I know a lot of people don't make axes actually. Some people only make axes. So the one thing you want, there's a couple of things you want to get from the nether. You want to get netherrack mainly. You want to get glowstone as well, so we can grab some glowstone. And the other thing you want to get is blaze rods, but I don't think I'm going to get any of this strip. So I have no idea whether there's a fortress nearby or not. Doesn't look particularly close. We can grab this glowstone here. But in theory, you want to grab some blaze rods. You don't have to get it first time because it's not mandatory to get it first time, but you're going to want to get it at some point when you go to the nether. So we got some glowstone. You might want to get a fair bit of glowstone, but you don't need a huge amount really for this method. At least not yet, you don't. So we're going to head through the portal again, back to the overworld. This is the same as normal. Now, I don't want this making a lot of noise, so we're just going to break it. Because that can be quite loud, making its nether portal noises that it makes. So now what we want to do is place down the netherrack here and pop a cauldron on top of it. And then you simply right click on this cauldron to turn it into a nether cauldron. So to use the nether cauldron, you need a bucket of lava, which we've got here. You simply right click onto the nether cauldron with it and it'll fill it with lava. Then you take the piece of glowstone, right click that into the cauldron, which turns it into a light cauldron. Now me lifting my mouse like that to go this way whenever I place things in, that doesn't make you do that. That's just me doing that. I don't know why I did that. I just did. So it's now got light essence in it, and you can now pull that out with a bottle, like so. And we put that in there, of course, it makes the light dust, the light cave dust, and your bottle comes back as well. I'm going to dump some stuff into. Yeah, I don't need. I'm going to pop this chest out actually. Put some stuff in here for now. Just see that not a lot you can actually fit in these when you think about it. Sure. Why not? Okay, so the next thing you're going to want is a piece of cobblestone mainly. And you're also going to want 3 ender pearls, because you want some endstone. And I have a feeling you don't want to go to the end to get that. So you can do it with 3 ender pearls and a piece of cobblestone, and it makes 1 endstone. Pop the endstone down, place down the cave cauldron, right click on the cave cauldron, turn it into a sky cauldron. So for the sky cauldron, what you need is a bottle of end water, which is essentially just water bottle, TNT, redstone torch into an ender pearl. The idea of just being blowing up in an ender pearl and then mixing it with water, essentially. It's the idea here. So a bottle of end water, pop it in there, you get your bottle back, obviously. Grab a blaze rod, because you've picked up some from the nether potentially, and then place that into the cauldron. Now the interesting thing about this is, when you think about an eye of ender, it's just an ender pearl plus a blaze powder. What we've essentially done is we've made like liquid ender pearl, but more concentrated because we had blaze rod in, rather than just blaze powder. So we've made a really concentrated ender pearl here. And we just pull it out using this. We've got a bottle of energized cave essence. And we'll just pop this in here. And it gives us energized cave dust. This is nice. So now let's say we've been farming sugarcane and we've got a few cows around. And that allows us to make our book of knowledge. Most valuable thing in the game, pretty much. And it gives you the option to, if you see here, you can use a book of quill to copy it. So it makes a copy of the book, which is really useful. So if you've got other guys on a server, you may want to give them that if you don't want them to have to go through all the crafting table thing. Though after the amount of time you probably spent making a crafting table, which I've heard from some people can take up to, like, I think one person who's told me it's taken about 7 or 8 hours to do, which I think is just, it's just crazy to think that these steps can take so long. I don't know what my record is for it. I think it's slightly less than that, but I don't know what it is exactly. So I don't remember what it is, but it's less than 7 or 8 hours. But to be fair, I do know everything you have to do without having to ask questions about it. Yeah, so that's pretty much all this one does. It actually converts cobblestone into cave cobblestone, which we'll talk about some other time. It's basically just aesthetic stuff, but it does have a purpose as well later on, and it'll turn cave cobblestone into another kind of cave cobblestone, which is blue. But it'll do other things later on. But the main purpose is all to do with the wood catalyst. So, of course, wood catalyst, as we remember from last time, now we have our book of knowledge. We can make crafting tables, which something that Squirrel Killer and I both do is we just pop them out like that, just because it's so, like, after the amount of time you spent, it's so sort of like relieving to have finally made your crafting table, and you sort of feel like you've accomplished something by the end of it. You really do. It's just nice to be able to pop them down. Now, normally, I did actually give me the benchmarking achievement. I just missed that. So you will get benchmarking for that, which means you can get the other achievements in the game now. So yeah, that's how you make crafting tables. That's pretty much that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, I would say. I don't think of much else to do this episode. So next episode, we're probably going to talk about some of the more advanced stuff. So we're going to talk about the actual magic stage. What we can do now we have our book of knowledge. So obviously the main thing about the book of knowledge now is that we don't need to use the cauldrons to make the dusts. We just make them directly in our inventory. So you don't need the liquid base. You just make it from the object itself. So book of knowledge plus glowstone will make light dust. Seeds will turn into nature dust. Lime ender will turn into energized dust, which is basically the main use of this book of knowledge. You can upgrade your book of knowledge into a tier 2, which is called the Nethermaster's Book of Knowledge. This one is interesting. This tier of book of knowledge allows you to craft spawn eggs for mobs. So bats, enderman, villager, something like that. The only reason the villager is so expensive is because when some of my mates were playing this in 1.7 before it was released on CurseForge, a really terrible version of the mod, but it still had this section of it in. We found that the recipe for villagers, which was an emerald to make like one villager, was actually ridiculously overpowered, because all you had to do was just find one villager that would say, "Oh, I would trade you like 19 wheat for an emerald," and one that would say, "Yeah, I'll trade you 20 wheat I'll trade you an emerald for 20 wheat," something like that. Meant that you could get like an infinite supply of emeralds, which you could then use to make more villagers or energy, which is just ridiculous, actually. So we decided that we should make it much more expensive. So it needs 8 emerald blocks, to make that. So the Nether Masters requires a Nether Star to make, because it's a lot better than the original one. So you can make spawn eggs for mobs, which is nice. And of course, you can copy it in the same way. It's actually these things are just pieces from mobs, or things that the mob likes. So for example, we make a wall for the bone. Skeleton, I think you can make it with bone meal. Yes, I think skeleton's bone meal, yeah. Skeleton's bone meal. I think spiders use spider eye, and cave spiders use fermented spider eye. Things like that. It's somewhat intuitive, but if you need to, you can check JEI for stuff, for recipes. But that's essentially it for this episode, I think. I've pretty much covered the leaving the very basic stage and heading up to the magic stage, which we'll do next time. And after that, we'll move on to the technology stage, which is probably my favorite stage currently, though that will probably change after I release the magic update, because there are a lot of things I have planned for that, and I think the people who currently play are probably going to be they're gonna be probably surprised by the magic stage. Just it's gonna be so different because there's a lot of plans for it. Yeah, it's gonna be doing a lot of things. It's just, even for myself, just playing on this old version just confuses me sometimes because I always forget that there's so much stuff that just isn't in it that there is in the Magic one. That whenever I look at the Magic stage in this version, I just think it's just so different. But yeah, so that's essentially what we're doing here. Next episode, looking at Magic, I'm probably going to end up saying a few things that are wrong because I'm too used to the currently non-released version that has all this extra Magic stuff, but I'm working quite hard to balance that stuff in theory and or explain really to the player. It's quite difficult because I've got to make it fit in with the lore of the story itself, but to the extent of not actually telling the player the story directly, because you should probably be allowed to get out of your house. Because the story of Tson is quite long and, though probably quite interesting, it's not why you came to play Minecraft. So, and probably isn't the reason why you're playing Tsoncraft. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the tutorial series of Tsoncraft. I've enjoyed making it. I'm probably going to go around to editing these first two because I've done them together. I don't know when I'll do the Magic one, probably later today after I fix those bugs that I found with recipes not being properly registered or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.